Hey, what's up everybody? This is Muth24, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Funimation Blu-ray DVD combo pack release of Bayonetta Bloody Fate. This is the anime adaptation of the first game, and I'm going to say right off the bat here, I haven't actually played the first game yet. I just picked up Bayonetta 2 for Wii U. I wanted to play the first one a while back and just kind of forgot about it, and then when they announced the second one was coming out and that the first game would be included in that combo pack, I figured, hey, I'll wait until that comes out. I do understand kind of the major points of the story and all that, so it's not like everything here was super foreign to me, the game's been out for long enough now that, you know, I think it's fair to kind of say that the spoiler-ish content is relatively common knowledge at this point, but I won't give away any spoilers in this review. It's just that going into this I kind of knew some things about what was going to happen in the story. Looking at the front of the box here, you have some really cool artwork of Bayonetta with the moon in the background, kind of an action pose with the guns out, you know, the ribbons in her hair flying back there. Got the logo below her there. Some really nice detail here in the sort of hair and the way that her clothes sort of all mesh down at the bottom there. Along the spine, you have basically a very small version of that same picture at the top. Bayonetta Bloody Fate listed on the side, and then on the back, there's a bunch of little screen cap highlights there on the bottom. They're really hard to see, not only because they're so small, but because they're kind of dark. It's weird they chose those ones, because the film itself is not like, at least in terms of the art style and the lighting and all that, is not dark, at least not in the sense that, you know, Evangelion 1.01 was, where it was kind of hard to see things. There's some really bright explosions and cool, almost psychedelic backgrounds at certain points, and just really visually pleasing film to go with the over-the-top action style. But we do have some of the characters here and all that. There are some extra features included. You get the actor commentary, some storyboards and trailers. There's like the release trailer for Bayonetta Bloody Fate, and then of course a bunch of other Funimation releases. And the cover sleeve here has a little bit of sort of a glossy look to it, and the gold on Bayonetta's outfit and her hair, and I don't know if it's on the guns. No, that one doesn't shine. But there's a little bit of like a metallic shine to those parts of the cover sleeve, which is pretty cool. Got the same artwork underneath, just not shiny, obviously. Same art on the back there. Then we pop this open. A little postcard from Funimation. And then we have the DVD and the Blu-ray versions there. The inside of the cover sleeve is really cool too, because it's basically a mini poster, which is the same artwork that was featured on the back of the sleeve and the case art there. So, with my not having actually played the first game yet, I really enjoyed this film. I think it's really fun and over-the-top action in a way that I think they did better than the Devil May Cry anime. And I know a lot of people didn't like the Devil May Cry anime because it was a little bit, I don't know, slow-paced at points. And it's all content that was new for that anime. You know, none of it was based off the games and all that. So they basically had to come up with brand new scenarios for every single episode, which is fine. I think it works for sort of its, you know, being in between a couple of the games there. But this as an adaptation of the game and you know, a single one-shot film, I think works better for an action game at least, because you don't have to worry too much about keeping the pace going. It is an hour and a half, and I was actually afraid they were going to rush it a little bit, but they do handle the pacing of this very well. It starts off with a bang, obviously, because it's how you're going to draw everybody in, get them all excited for the film and all that. But it keeps chugging along at a nice pace the whole way through, which is something I've noticed, at least from what I've played of the second game so far, is that it really never lets up in the game on how much excitement and how much action and just ridiculous stuff is going on. And the film is maybe a little bit more grounded in certain respects than the game, in the sense that it wants to be able to let viewers follow along if they haven't played the game. And I think that's a really good thing. But it also does pay tribute to the games and sort of capture that feel of being this return to sort of the late 90s, early 2000s, wacky, ridiculous action games that Japan was churning out at the time. And it's really fresh in that respect, because I feel like a lot of action games have either tried too hard or not tried hard enough in recent years in trying to emulate the Devil May Cry style. There's a few that I really liked. Obviously, I love No More Heroes. I've mentioned that a lot of times on here before. I love Killer is Dead, and most Suda51 games in general I enjoyed. But there's just a bunch of other stuff that's come out in recent years where it's been like, it's okay. In that same vein, I think adapting a video game to an anime is kind of tricky, because you have this expectation of what you're supposed to get before you start watching the anime version, unless it's a side story or something like that. But even then, you still have the characters to account for and all that. Sort of the feel of the anime has to match the feel of the game to a certain extent. I think they did it really well here, and also they don't get in too far over their heads, right? They know what they want to do. They do it really well. And that's the most important thing, is that these characters are all, to my knowledge, all voiced by the same cast members that perform them in the games, which is great. So it's not going to be this weird sort of disjointed version of, this character doesn't sound right as to what I remember them being. So if you loved the English cast, which to my understanding pretty much everybody does, because they handle these characters so well, you'll be very pleased to see that they do a great job of handling them here, even though it's obviously just a shortened version of the game's story. But you get plenty of time on screen from Bayonetta, from Jean, from Luca. You get, I think, a pacing that works not only for keeping the action going, but also keeping sort of the sense of intrigue and some of the more mellow, detective work parts that Luca's handling. Those are still interesting and fun to watch. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that I can think of to cover in this review. It's a really good anime adaptation of a video game, and a lot of times I'll get those just for the sake of, I liked, Resident Evil, or I liked Persona, or whatever. I'll watch the anime version because it'll be halfway decent. This is really good. This is a really good anime adaptation for a video game. So if you were kind of on the fence about it, or if you're even looking for a way to just sort of get into Bayonetta, to sort of get the feel of what the games might be about, but you don't want to fork out, the $60 for the game yet, just want a little taste, I would highly recommend this. Obviously, getting both the Blu-ray and the DVD there. So it's really a good package for what you get. And I think I paid maybe $20 for this. I don't even think it was that much. It might be $15 some places. But yeah, highly recommended. And with that, I will see you guys next time.